Hello, we are here to discuss Fathers of Nations, a new book that has just replaced Blossoms of the Savannah. It is written by Paul Vita, and we are from St. Teresa's. Welcome, students.
My name is Sharon Chimos, and we'll be talking about Fathers of Nation. Each one of us has different chapters, in which I'll be talking about chapter 1, 2, and 3, in which is a very interesting chapter. In the beginning of the novel, we found out that the strangers were 4 men, in which they arrive in the Seamount Hotel, in which there is Professor Kimani, Engineer Tahir, Sharif, and there is Pastor Chiemeka, and there is Comrade Melusi. When they arrived in the Seamount Hotel, each one of them settled at different wings and different food. So when you read forward, you'll find out that Fiona Mackenzie will be interviewing Dr. Afolabi under the document he wrote, and there will be an argument between Dr. Fiona and Ms. Mackenzie, and Dr. Afolabi is supposed to go to the summit and defend his document in front of the head of state. We learned that 4 men received calls from an anonymous caller, in which the anonymous caller tells them that he's their guide, and he's telling them on how to access their cases and how they can use their mobile phone. Karanja also, we are told in chapter 2 that Karanja is a professor at the Nairobi University. After studying at the University of Oxford, he's excited about change and introduces need of excellence and agency in the university. And we are also told that Engineer Professor Kimani also marries Asia, who is the campus queen, and after marrying Asia, there is a global economic region that affects lecturers, and they earn very little, and many elites became politicians, and they strive to earn better when they become politicians. As you continue reading, you will find out that Asia and Professor Kimani will have a child called Tuni, and Tuni will share that the country needs to have a private security. Asia supports her, and then later there is an accident in which occurs that Tuni will die in the accident, the tragic accident, and Asia will later be traumatized and will move on to marry MP Walumi. And Kimani, after learning that, he will go to MP Walumi's office and start to fight MP Walumi. After that, MP Walumi will go to court, and they will arrest Professor Kimani, in which he will go to jail for 6 months. And after going to jail for 6 months, he will be demoted from a full lecturer to a senior lecturer, and we meet that after coming out of jail, after being demoted, he will meet Longway on the way, and Longway will converse with Professor Kimani, in which he will ask Professor Kimani to join them in the fight of Path Alpha. And that was the end of my chapter.
I'm Gabriela Nora. I'm going to summarize about chapter 4, 5, and 6. This chapter says that Fiona, who has interviewed Mr. Afolabi, Dr. Afolabi, gets in a taxi after a call from her boss. On the way, the police harasses the taxi driver, and he drives them. The Gambian news give her VOA, which she is happy. She is happy because of her better earning, and she meets with Robert Manley. She is assigned to handle views about the summit. She learns from Nick that the silent listener taps a lot, even without knowledge. Fiona calls Afolabi in the evening, and while coming to meet him, she meets and she is attacked by Mola. They fight and he saves Fiona. We come a flashback of Dr. Afolabi visiting Washington. He meets Pamela's father, who is lonely and sick. He swears not to share the secret and the information to Pamela. On the way back, he met Head Longway, and he talks about the Path Alpha. Back home, Pamela and Afolabi differs over a woman they found in their home, and she leaves. Comrade Melusi gets to the summit. The security man stops him from leaving with his syringes, but he defends how Melusi viewed, and then Melusi viewed for a seat lost, and later was ruined by his president. He lost work, business, and wife Ziliza. And that's the end.
My name is Prudence Mukite. I'm going to give a summary on chapter 7, 8, and 9. We are told heads of states settled in the summit. The author shares how each country holds preference. We are informed as strategic seats for Kimani, Tahir, Melusi, and Chiamaka. We are also shown in a flashback Chiamaka, who used to be a reckless driver in Lagos. He doesn't care about other motorists until he got into an accident. Luckily, he never died. But he became a pastor. But his sermons was always criticizing the government. He is put in jail for talking about the negligence of his president, and on coming, he was banned from preaching. He later meets Longway, who convinces him to join Path Alpha. We also learn about Saif Tahir, a man from Libya who studied weapons development at the University of Paris. He later works under the Fist of Ila in making weapons, and he also loved his president until when he closes down this company. Tahir falls in love with Rahma, but when she refuses to go for the date with him, he slaps her on a morning. Rahma throws a letter opener that slips into Tahir's hand. He was operated, so Rahma loses her eyes too in the Hammurabi verdicts. Tahir runs away and settled in Bahazi until he met this person called Longway.
My name is Charlotte, and in this I'm going to talk about the chapter 10, 11, and 12. In this chapter, we find that Nick shares with Fiona about how the silent listeners work. He also demonstrates the technology behind it. He also shares that the caller is possibly a man far from the four, but he has an interest in it. Chiamaka had planned to meet his president at the Pinnacle, but he fails after the program was changed. When he goes back to his room, an anonymous calls and talks to him. Melusi is also in the thinking about the wife he lost and the revenge. He is also called. Tahir reflects on the eye before he is called. Karanja too is also called. Dr. Afolabi arrives followed by Longway, Kimani, Melusi, Chiamaka, and Tahir. Everyone is shocked that the caller was Dr. Afolabi. All this time, they agree to vote for Pat Alpha because of how it is in bringing change to Africa. The summit begins at the Gambian head, invites guests and hands over position to Miniko Menkiti, a president of one of the African countries. The summit goes on, but some of the heads are unaware about the two documents. They finally settled at tossing a coin in matrix and choosing a strategy. When the tail shows, it will be Alpha, and when the head shows, it will be the way Omega.
I'm Joy Kibichori, I'm Form 3, so I'm going to take you through chapter 13 and 14. So in this chapter, we meet finally Fiona meets with Nick and Dr. Afolabi. They agree to see on how they will attain the success of Alpha. They use Nick and technology. The summit reconvenes in the morning. Then the chair ensures that everyone has a chance to oppose the matrix way. Then Alpha wins. President Dibonso almost shoot the chair, but luckily the men came and people live. That's the end of Fathers of Nations.